Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. This is Oliver Wiedmaier at Ollie underscore all caps on Twitter. This is going to be a market review for week 411 through 415. I'm going to show you exactly how I look at the broad market by looking at the internals and also looking at key sectors that are showing strength and showing weaknesses. And we'll also show you some watch list names that I will be looking to going long or going short on the upcoming week. So without further ado, what I do first when I do the reviews is I look at the internal. So what I do is I look at the number of stocks above the 50-day moving average and also the number of stocks above the 200-day average. Okay, and here we have the number of stocks above the 200-day average, and the number is continuing to decrease. And in fact, we are at a key level here, and it looks like heading into next week, the number is going to decrease, and 200-day is recognized by almost all traders as kind of the definitive line of whether something is in an uptrend or a downtrend. So for the number of stocks to be below the 200-day average is really showing that the market is weak. Even if the indexes are showing strength, if the number of stocks on the inside the index is showing weakness, then we are in a weak market. This is actually the week view. If we go to day view, we'll see a different picture. We are been in a decline since really March of 2021, and then recently have been really chopping up here. And so that's what has been so difficult for swing traders is the chop. And we can look at the number of stocks above the 50-day. We are getting a little bit better. We are making a higher low here. If you look at the week view, we have made a higher low, but still we need to continue to get stocks above the 50-day moving average in order for the overall broad market to be more strong, and which means that breakouts will likely stick. Right now, breakouts are just not working. Here we have the Dow Jones closed the week below the 200-day moving average. We are getting tight, but still, if we get a closer look, we broke above the 200-day and then we chopped down and then bounced off the 50-day. Still, the 200-day is above the other key averages, so that is a sign of weakness. This is the New York comp, again, showing some weakness with the 50-day below the 200-day. Here's the here's the NASDAQ comp. We rejected the 200-day pretty hard, and then we actually closed below the 200-day. So it is more likely than not going to be more action to the downside here. How far it will go, no one knows. But again, we are in a really choppy environment. So something that I try to really pound the table on my Twitter is that if you don't have to trade for income, now is not the time to trade. However, if you do want to trade, that's perfectly fine. Make sure you are really tight on your risk management, and also you're only trading with a small amount of money so that you don't blow up your account. So when we do have a strong bull run, you'll have money in your account. Okay. Now let's look at some indexes, or some ETFs. I like to look at the ARK. It's fallen below kind of my zone here. This is where I really want to see tight price action to the upside. We actually had price action to the downside, so not interested in going long on that. FFTY is something that I like to watch because there's a lot of stocks in this fund that I like to trade right now. Very bearish on that. IWM, super weak. It's closed below the 50-day. And if you move over to the week, it does look like there will be more kind of rejected this underbelly here at 207 zone. And so it is more likely that we will reject lower. If you do want to short IWM, you can trade RWM, and I would look for an entry 2306, 2315 is where I would go short. Go long in the RWM, which would be shorting the IWM. IWO is also a very good view at some of the names that growth swing traders like to trade. Did hold above this downtrend line, but it is not building a base in the high and right side of the down trend line. So this is something I'm actually bearish on. Qs, it is breaking below my kind of zone area here where I would like to see tight price action to the upside. It's falling below that, so I'm bearish on the Qs, and really bearish all around on the ETFs, except for a select few. We look at SPY. It is building kind of the right side here, but it's still very choppy. And I would like to see it kind of build up a little bit more here. But the SPY isn't terrible. Of course, we want to see it above this area, but we aren't in crisis mode just yet. I think that we might be able to get saved if we can tighten up in here. But just because the SPY is performing well doesn't mean that the internals of the market is doing well. Always make sure you're scanning for strong, fundamentally sound stocks, and really just focus on individual names. You don't even have to look at this kind of stuff, but if you do look at it, just make sure you are still only really trading based on the individual name that you wanting to trade. Okay. Looking at these ETFs and stuff, you can find strength, but it's the strength of the individual name that you need to be 100% focused on. We also like to look at Bitcoin, rejected the flat 200-day moving average. I'm holding above the 50-day moving average. I had this area here, 44, let's call it 45,000 as a key level, and it lost it. So not super bearish on it, but I'm also not super bullish on it. This is just something I like to watch. Trading sideways for a while here. Let's look at the monthly. Trading sideways for quite some time. So, that's just something I like to look at. Gold, chopping around, going sideways. Not super bullish, not super bearish on that. Now let's look at some sectors. ERX, which is a 2 times bull energy, completely just dominating, a lot of strength, looking like it's gonna break out once again for higher highs. This has really just been week after week after week. Energy names have been doing very well. Gold miners looks like it's consolidating here. We could see a breakout over 40 and a quarter. Semiconductors super bearish. Looks like we're gonna get more movement to the downside, which is not good because names like AMD and NVDA are names that we like to focus on for showing strength. When those names show strength, then we can see that translate to other names. And so when a stock like NVDA is not doing well, let's look at NVDA. Stocks like NVDA are not doing well, then it's a kind of an indicator that the rest of the market is not doing well either. I was watching TAN and I tried to trade it a few times, but it broke down, unfortunately. So right now I'm not interested in that. XLB, so materials sector, we are possibly breaking out of this really long 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, a 1-year base. So this is something that I'm definitely interested in watching to see what happens. This is XLB materials. XLP, consumer staples, broke out and is going to be ripping. So overextended now, but if you can find some individual names in the consumer staples sector, then you might be able to find some strong breakouts. And then the last sector will be healthcare. These are this is getting ready to break out. Bit extended right now. I wouldn't mind seeing it retest this area, but you can see names like MOH is a popular one in the healthcare sector. Okay, now to individual names in my personal watch list. Let's see here. Alta. This is a name I'm really interested in. If it can break, we'll call it 406, we will take it long. But you can see that the ATR is decreasing, volume's decreasing. So this is a name that I'm really interested in, and it's retested this breakout and it's holding. So now it just needs to get some high volume and push through this resistance, and that's when I will take it. LMT, Lockheed Martin, it needs to build a base under here. Right now, it's getting a little bit overextended, so I would like to see it build under 480 if I'm going to take it. RTX, looking for a test of the 21-day moving average. So if it can come down here in the morning, I would like to take a trade risking under 98. Or if it can come through volume and clear 102.5 on volume, I'll be interested in watching that and taking that long. OAS, I have an alert set for 154.12, and I will take it at 155.25. Is 155.25. That's exactly what I wrote down. DE, deer. Let's see. There's a breakout, base breakout test. Volume's drying up and the ATR is decreasing. So this is a name that I would like to get long at 422.5. Next one is PFE. If it can retest in this area, I would take it long. So call it 53.5 area, maybe even 55, somewhere in this area. I would like to take that long. Okay. The next one is going to be WST at 423. So you can see that it's making higher lows and it's getting really tight at the 200-day. So I really like that. 423 for WST. KURA, I'll take it long at 17.5. You can see that good earnings the past two reports, and it's starting to look like a stage 2 base, and the money is made in stage 2. Last one is JXN. There's an early entry at 44.05, but the bigger move will be at 47. Let's look at the weekly. You can see the base is being built on the weekly. So if you want to try it early, 44.05. If not, the bigger move would be 47. Now, there are some other names I'm interested in, but that is the watch list that I'm going to post online on the Twitter. But NMM is doing a really nice long base. Still needs some time. ZEUS forming a cup and handle, but it needs time. ORLY, this is a name that I traded. I'm still in this. It's too far gone now if you are interested in it. I mean, if it retests the 7-Eleven area, sure, go ahead, but I'm not advising that. Let's see here. What else am I looking at? I'm just really watching that. I don't know if I'm going to trade that or not. CPT, one more higher low, 173. Okay, so this broke down. So I had this, I guess, from last week. So I can delete that. This looks like it just needs kind of build up around here. But this is forming a nice base. Let's look at the weekly. Yeah, this is not a bad setup, making higher lows, but not on my watch list. Oh, Lulu. Okay, LULU 385. LULU 385. I have an alert set for 384.05, but I really like how this is forming up. So LULU 385, and the last one, PG. I got two more. PG needs to tighten up. Okay, but look at that. You want to talk about consumer staples? Okay. Last one, Tyson Food chicken nuggets, consumer staples. Needs to tighten up under the 96 area, but that is a name I'm interested in as well. Last one. Waste management. Build a tight range under pivot. So yeah, if it just goes through this area, you can have it. I'm not going to trade it, but if it can kind of build a little bit, if it can come down under the 21, rest a little bit, and then shoot up, I'll be interested in it. Okay, so that is it. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, please hit me up either in the comments or on Twitter at Ali_all caps. Thank you.